Hey guys, I hope you're well. So today I want to do a video that I've wanted to do in a long time, but I haven't really been brave enough, to be honest. Wearing no makeup for me to go outside is hard, let alone put myself on the internet to do it. But I just wanted to share some tips and techniques with you that I've learned over the years. I'm not by any means a professional makeup artist at all, you all probably know that. But everything I've learned I've picked up maybe from others, or I've developed over using many products over time and using different techniques to apply them myself. So basically I'm self-taught. And I really wanted to show you how I get a flawless face, or as near to flawless as I can. It's pretty clear to see I have no makeup on. I've done my eyes with eyeliner and mascara, but that's it. I have no concealer on, no primer, and nothing else on my face at all. So if you can see, I have suffered from acne scarring here. I have quite a lot of redness. I have acne scarring here. I have one active spot there, unfortunately, and a little bit of redness around here and around my nose, and a few spots up here, but nothing major. I've always had good skin pretty much all my life, and then about 2 years ago I developed acne through stress quite badly, which was a shock to me. So I've had to really change my foundation routine quite a lot since having that, and this is kind of the technique that I've developed to cover this really well, to be able to look like I have really good skin when I don't really. So it's all about faking the flawless face if you have to. So if you have similar skin complaints to me, if you have maybe hyperpigmentation, you have scarring from acne, you have spots or under eye circles and things like that, then these techniques that I use, or the most important technique that I'm going to show you first, is really crucial, I think, to covering up any of these flaws. I really find that just by buffing and using the right tools and the right product, you can erase this within seconds, and it works for me really well than having good skin and feeling happy in your skin and confident when your skin looks really clear. So the product I'm going to talk about, you've probably heard me talk about it many times, but it is my lifesaver. I have used this for years and been through many tubes of it, and I can't say enough good things about it, and nothing compares to it. I've tried many foundations and many concealers over that time, and this really is the best for covering any flaws that you have on your face. And it's Double Wear's Maximum Cover foundation. I use it as a concealer, but you can use it as a foundation. If you apply it lightly, it's pretty good. If you have quite a lot of scarring or a lot of redness, then it would be a good foundation for you. But I find I don't need to use it as a foundation, and only really use it as a concealer before I apply my foundation. It works amazingly well. It's a really nice consistency. It's not heavy, even though the coverage is really heavy. It's described as being a camouflage makeup, so it covers tattoos, even any scarring and things like that. So it's majorly heavy, but it doesn't look or feel heavy on the skin, and that's why I love it. So I'm going to show you my foundation routine using this, and hopefully it will be of some help. I find the best way to cover any blemishes or flaws is by buffing a product, and I think using a fluffy brush works best, because it instead of just caking it on one area, it evenly buffs it out, so it blends it really nicely, so the whole area looks flawless while covering the bad area as well, and you get the nicest, most natural finish, even though you need coverage at the same time. So the two buffing products I use are these ones. This one is by Bare Minerals, and it's their Eye Kabuki brush. And I've had this for years and I use it every day. I love it. It's really good if you want to conceal under eye circles or smaller areas of imperfections, then it's amazing. But when you want to cover a larger area like I do, because I have quite a lot of scarring and redness, then I find using a brush like this. This is the Sephora Professional Mineral Powder brush, number 45, which I love. And this is really good for covering a larger area. But you can use any kind of fluffy or domed brush of similar sizes depending on what you need. So basically I take about that much of maximum cover. It's maybe a pea-sized amount, and I'll dip my big Sephora fluffy brush into it with a small amount, and then just lightly dab it on the areas that need coverage. I may have to look into the mirror in a minute, but basically I just dab it where I need it, and then I'll buff it lightly into the skin, so that it evenly covers the areas of redness and my scarring while blending with the rest of my skin at the same time. But already my skin looks so much better, if you can see. I'll do the rest of this side so you can see the difference between one side and the other. But this definitely is the worst side of my face. I developed acne on only one side of my face for some reason, and the scarring has not gone away for about a year. It's much better than it used to be, and maybe I'll do a video on the products that I use to reduce the scarring, because it used to be much worse, but it's definitely going more invisible from using certain products. So that's it really. I haven't used a lot of product. I used probably about half the amount on my hand and lightly buffed it across all the areas. If you can see, my skin looks much more even. I didn't need any more product, but I just lightly, whatever's left on the brush, I will just lightly go underneath my eyes and around. I won't go on top of my eyes because I've got eyeshadow, but around the nose and things like that. So that's half of my face done with that. As you can see, it looks so much clearer, so much better already. And then I'll just go across my nose, because my nose is pretty red. I'll just lightly take, I've still got quite a lot on my hand, lightly take it over my nose and buff it all around and underneath my nose, underneath my eye. But this side of my cheek doesn't need any really, so I'll just take whatever's left on my brush, just on the tiny bits of redness there, because any redness that's left, foundation can cover. Then whatever's left on my hand, which isn't very much, I have a few spots up here which I don't usually have, but they've just developed, so I'll just lightly buff it over those areas. So that's it really. So basically just the action of buffing and using maximum cover can get you a pretty good natural finish, really good covered face. And sometimes when I just want to nip to the shops, or I want to take Lily to school, or there's times where you don't need to do a full face but you just want to cover your imperfections, then that's all I'll do basically. It'll take a few minutes, take a blob of that and just buff it all over my face, and it looks fine. It looks, in the light I can see in this mirror, it looks really nice and natural but covered at the same time. So I really love this. I could not recommend Double Wear Maximum Cover more. It's my lifesaver. I absolutely love this. So yeah, I'll just do my foundation now. Because I have used that over my redness and scarring, I don't actually need that much foundation because I've already done enough concealing. So I just want to even out my face a little bit because I haven't put it all over my face. So I'll use my Lancome Taint Ultra Idol Ultra 24-hour foundation, 1.5 pumps, just all over my skin to even out the skin so I don't have any patches. And I'm going to use my Louise Young LY 34 brush, which is my favourite foundation brush. I love it. It's so nicely packed, densely packed brush. The shape of it's really nice for getting a really even and blended effect from your foundation, making your skin look really flawless. And this is the best foundation brush by far that I've ever used. So I've taken a little bit here and I'll smooth it along my hand just so the foundation warms on the back of my hand, and then I'll almost like stipple it using the fluffy brush all over my face. So I'll lightly cover my skin underneath my chin, under my nose. I really love this foundation. It's a really good medium coverage, but it feels so light when you've blended it to your skin. It doesn't look cakey, it doesn't cling to any dry areas. It lasts a really long time, and for me that's really important because I have oily skin. But it's not got a heavy finish to it, and it doesn't have an overly kind of matte finish. It's almost like, it has a little bit of luminosity. It's matte but it's not flat, and that's why I really love it. I like to have a flawless finish, but I don't want my skin to look really flat. It needs to have a little bit of radiance to it. So I've just stippled it all over my face lightly, and I don't have any left now, well, a little bit. And then I'll just take this does the buffing and the blending action as well as applying it, which is why I love it, because before I had this brush, I used to use a foundation brush to apply my foundation, and then I'd use the Sephora Mineral brush to buff it all over my face, but this one can do both, which is fantastic. Really love it. So basically I buffed and blended now, and I will blend again, because if you want to get the most flawless finish base from your base, you need to make sure it's blended as much as possible. Although this foundation doesn't look cakey and the brush has blended it a lot, I still like to use the warmth of my fingers just to really make it stick and bond into my skin and get it as light looking as possible, but still with a good amount of coverage. So that's it. my skin is looking much better now, much more even in tone. As you can see, I still have one spot which is a little bit red, so I don't really need concealer anywhere else, but I'm just going to conceal that spot. I'm going to use MAC Studio Sculpt Concealer, which I really love at the moment. It's a really nice coverage, moussey, creamy consistency, lasts a really long time, it blends really nicely. It's great under the eyes as well as covering blemishes elsewhere. So that's that. That's not going to be completely covered because it is a quite a large spot on my skin, but I've covered the redness of it. I'll just take whatever's left on my finger underneath my nose. So that's my foundation done. I will quickly just do my contouring and my blush, and then I'll show you my setting powder when I've done that. So the contour I'm going to use is NARS Laguna, and I know most people say you shouldn't use a bronzer that has a little bit of shimmer in it, but I find that Laguna has really indiscreet shimmer. It's not chunky or glittery at all, it's just a slight shimmer to it, but I think it works as a contour as well as a bronzer, so I use this sometimes. So I'm going to take a little bit on my Sonia Kashuk blush brush, which is really good for contouring, and I will just move backwards and forwards in circular motions at the same time just underneath my cheekbones, because I find that contouring really helps with my shape of face. There isn't a day where I don't contour basically. It's really quick and easy, and I think it suits my face shape. So if you can see, I've done one side. I just lightly take it underneath the chin, just whatever's left on the brush really. And then I'll do my other side, so I just take a little bit, tap it off, and get right underneath my cheekbones, going backwards and forwards quickly, and then round around in circles to blend it, so there's no definite line. And then whatever's left on the brush, I'll take it up the temples, on the forehead, and sometimes on the side of my nose as well. But that's it for my contouring. Then I'll take a big fluffy brush, and I'm going to use my favourite fluffy brush, which is A Design's XL powder brush, which I bought from IMAX a couple of years ago, but they're fantastic. I think they're an American brand, and it was really cheap at IMAX. I'm not sure how much it costs when it's not at the trade show, but I really recommend this brush. I've never seen a brush so big. It's so good and really soft. So I'm going to take Laguna again, just a tiny bit, and take it down underneath my neck, just so my face kind of matches the glow or the warmth of my my face. My neck matches, my face matches a little bit. And then I'll take whatever's left and just blend it up a little bit and along my forehead, my chin, and that's that. I'm going to take this blush by Collection 2000, which I've been using quite a lot recently. I forgot how nice it is, and it's their shimmer shades in Blushalicious, and it's such a nice matte bronzer, and I love the 4 shades. You can use them separately or swirl them all together, and it creates a really nice peachy pink. I don't really like an obvious blush look. I like a subtle kind of pop of colour to my cheeks, so I'm going to use a fan brush, and I'm not sure where this one came from. I got it in a swap, but any fan brush will do, and I just swirl it all together and then tap it off, and then lightly find the top of my cheeks above my cheekbones and kind of almost pat it on the top of my cheekbones, and then work it in light circular motions and fan it out so it blends really nicely. I'll do the same on the other side. Yeah, almost kind of stipple it or pat it across the top of my cheekbone, and then use more circular motions and fan it across. A little bit on my nose. And that's it. And then I will do setting powder. I don't usually set my foundation, or I don't need to set my foundation everywhere, because this foundation, this Lancome foundation, holds up really well all over my skin. The only place it does go a little bit oily is on my nose, and that happens after about 3 or 4 hours. So I like to use a setting powder on just my nose, and the one I'm going to use is Burberry's Sheer Foundation, and I really like this powder. It's really good coverage, it's really good for blocking out any oil, but it's very, very light when it's on the skin. And I'm going to use a powder puff because I find this is the best way to apply powder without it looking heavy. So I'll take a bit on there and then I'll press it onto my hand to get rid of the excess, and then kind of press and roll. I find by doing this and not using a brush, you don't move the foundation underneath and you lightly set it, and you really, really push the foundation into your skin to make it last just that little bit longer. So I'll only do my nose with that. And last but not least, the trick that I find to get the most flawless base you can after you've done all of that is to use a setting spray. I swear by MAC's Fix Plus or Urban Decay's All Nighter spray. I love that one as well. But the one I'm going to use is MAC Mineralized Charged Water, which came out with their Mineralized collection recently, and I really like this one. I love the smell. It smells of green tea. And basically, just by spritzing a little bit of this water all over your face, you bring together all the powder products you have applied, all your foundation. It just sets it and makes it last just that little bit longer, and gets rid of the powdery look that can be on your face. And basically, I'll just spray it lightly all over my face and then dry it with a hairdryer. I don't have a hairdryer here, but I'm going to still spray it on my face anyway. The hairdryer really helps to stop the kind of droplets of water settling on your skin in drops and causing kind of blobs with the foundation. So I really recommend using a hairdryer for a few seconds just to, you know, dry it quickly and stop blobs forming. But like I said, I don't have that here. I'll link below my tutorial when I used when I did a Fix Plus kind of the 5 ways to use Fix Plus. But I really recommend it if you have oily skin, because it really helps your foundation to last just that little bit longer. So my face is done now. It's relatively quick. It's taken me a bit longer than it would because I've been talking at the same time. I know this was a little bit of a rambly video. I'm not used to doing tutorials at all. It's not really my thing, but I really wanted to show you how I applied that maximum cover, how I can cover my scarring, and that maybe the same technique or the products may be able to help you if you didn't know about them. So that's really why I did this video. Like I said before, I'm not a makeup artist, but these are the things that have helped me to cover my scarring and be able to be confident in my skin even though it isn't perfect, and be able to fake a flawless face every day. So I hope this was helpful, and I will speak to you soon. Bye!